so much for sharing that. Thank you so much. What a week, right? What a week. Last Sunday, I felt like I knew more Sunday. And 2 Sundays ago, I felt like I was just like, yeah, by Easter. I actually was buying plastic Easter eggs for our Easter egg hunt at Unity. That's in 2 weeks, which won't be in 2 weeks. But yesterday we had a short, Ellen and Sean and I, and Sean brought up how he and his wife Kim had been talking about how this feels like it's like a weird, surreal computer game where we've all been up leveled, all are knowing about it. And I brought this up to my kids, and my son says, yeah, or the developers of the game released a patch and the players don't like it because buggy. So yeah, we are all of us adapting to a new level. We're not like on the basic playing field anymore here in Earth School. We have been kicked up a notch. So right now we're in conditions that we didn't ask for. We are. And that is when life starts feeling hard for us. That's what I'm talking about. What do we do when life feels hard? And life feels hard when we're facing a condition we didn't ask for. When we are in a situation that we don't understand and that we didn't ask for. So none of us asked to be in this pandemic. None of us asked. But even before the pandemic, we all faced conditions that we didn't ask for. Okay, there are people who have health, physical health, mental, emotional well-being, health issues. Those conditions, they didn't ask for them. Lost their jobs in this last year. They didn't ask for that condition. If somebody lost their house or lost a loved one, they didn't ask for that condition. Going through a divorce, okay? Nobody asks for these conditions, but so we have been dealing with conditions that we didn't ask for since the pandemic. And so I was thinking, okay, like right now, as we're in uncharted territory, the old normal is gone and we're not getting it back. What do we do? What do we do now? It feels hard that this physical distancing for some may be leading to social isolation. It may be, which may be to having money concerns, maybe leading to anxiety and depression. What do we do now? And I thought, we do the same thing we do whenever we're faced with a condition that we didn't ask for. The condition that comes into our life is just an opportunity to up level our game here in Earth School. And within us already, every person, there's that knows what to do, how to do it, and it compels us to act on what it knows. You could say that we have within our print the steps to deal with these conditions where we feel overwhelmed. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about 4 things. And the first thing that we can do is to look at our life, because we're a spiritual being in a body, life as a divine directive. Our whole life, it's a divine directive. Current conditions are our sacred assignment. And when we get an assignment, we look at the assignment and we ask in our head, all right, what do I do with this? And that's what we get now. It's like, what do I do with what I've got right here and right now? Now, it can be really easy to look at and think they are unfair. It's like, why did this have to happen? But if we do this, okay, this is what happens. We get caught up and we start having anxiety over a condition we cannot control. And then that affects us in 2 ways. I'm focused in the problem, we're spiraling into struggle and suffering. And that affects our ability to be in mode. That affects our ability to understand and perceive that we are receiving instruction on the next thing to do. That it also affects our immune system. And right now, we do not want to be messing with our immune system. Okay, so being into fear over these current conditions, it affects our ability to know the next thing to do, to move into solution mode, and it affects our immune system. But when we see our beautiful life we're in right now as our divine directive, and these current conditions, these challenges, as a sacred assignment, we totally that we're in the present moment. We're living one day at a time, and we're asking then, what can I do right here, right now, with what I have right here and right now? Okay, we're not saying, well, what can I do in a month when I get my new supplies from Amazon to start my new home business? What can I do in 6 months when I credential to do the whatever? We start right here, right now. Now, a wise person plans for the future, for sure, but we still have to start right here and right now. Yes, you might get some credentials in 6 months. Yes, you might get some supplies in a month, but you still start right here, right now. So we see our life as a divine directive, and are our sacred assignment. What are you doing with the time that you have right now? I know a lot of gardeners. I've heard from every one of them pretty much this story. I love gardening, but I have a small garden because I don't have the time. But now they're saying, but I have so much time, I'm really expanding my garden. I'm really adding in things. I'm growing more stuff. I know gardeners who now you can't really call them a gardener anymore. They're a farmer. Okay, they're doing with this time. I know teachers who are, along with offering teaching over Zoom, they're also offering for students over Zoom so they can interact with each other and help release some of the stress they feel. Because you know what? If a kid's stressed, the kid is feeling stressed too. Okay, so there's some teachers that are doing that. There are people right now who are rising up to service in a big way. There's and they can't go to work, and maybe they can't even work from home. So they're utilizing their time. I know people making masks for healthcare workers. I know people who've decided they'll go out and get supplies for people who cannot get out of the house because of a current, health condition, or maybe there are people who need to go outside right now, and so they're shopping for those people. Okay, they're stepping up. Right now, this condition is present, whether we like it or not. This condition may limit us physically. It may be physically limiting our freedoms, but it cannot. We choose to expand the good in our lives. It cannot control how we choose to expand the good in our lives. So by engaging with what can I do right now with what I've got right now, we activate this process of receiving direction. Okay, we ask, what can I do with what I've got right here, right now? And then we let the universe receive direction. We act on that direction. And then we receive new direction. Okay, the universe is responsive. We do something, the universe responds to it. Okay, so this, to live day by day, live like day to day, just deal with today, with what we can do right here, right now. We plan for the future. But when we do this, it helps us to manage how we are expressing ourselves in this current condition. It helps to manage how we're feeling. We can feel more productive because we are more productive. We are creating and expanding the good in our lives. We're also giving our immune system first when we do this, a little boost, giving it a little boost. Okay, so we can be the center of activity in our lives. We are the center in our life experience. we were created in the image of our creator. That means we are creating as the creator creates in the whole. Okay, so here we are in this moment creating. We are creating. We don't want to be a bystander right now and just wait, to see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of waiting we have to do, but we also want to be creating. We want to participate in this unfolding of this new world that is in our life. We are this new world now. Okay, so that leads me to this next thing, because even though conditions can be scary, chaotic, out of our control, it's still up to us how we face this pandemic. It's still up to us how we choose to use this time. There's a saying, the sun shines on the just and the unjust, and it rains on both those who do good works and those who don't. I mean, there is a lot of waiting we have to do. You see, there are always going to be present conditions we don't have any control over. So this is not a situation where we're looking around, and this idea kind of runs crazy in spiritual. Well, who's been more positive and who's been more negative, and why are we attracting the pandemic into our experience? Mm-hmm. But see, it's not just about negative and positive, right? Sometimes there are things happening that we didn't necessarily attract to us. We're choosing how we respond in those situations. We move into blaming. Well, if we're blaming, then we become a blunder in our life. Okay, we're not able to expand the good in our lives when we are blaming. Blaming puts us in a situation where we are not seeing all of this as a sacred assignment. Okay, when we are blaming or spiritually shaming, okay, we are outside of this. Okay, we're getting stuck in a place where we need it to be fixed first before we can be happy. Okay, so we don't want to move into blaming. That will slow us down. That'll make us. If somebody is blaming, then it's all that negativity is going on them, not the person they're sending the blame to. So we do not want to move into blaming. The fact is that's going on. Whatever condition that somebody else might be experiencing, that's about them and their lesson in Earth School. And there are some people who I really believe they come into this life heavy conditions on them because they're an advanced player in Earth School game. Okay, so we do not want to be judging somebody else's negative. Okay, we don't want to be spiritually shaming them, or in our head even just blaming them for their own bad experiences. Okay, we do not know that maybe they came into this life to teach others how to have compassion. Okay, so there are always conditions present that we may not be happy with, but it's always an opportunity for us to up-level how we respond and share and expand the good in this life. I want to share a quote from Ernest Holmes, and this is the quote I share more. And when I have shared this quote before with people who were from the Church of Religious Science, which is the church that Ernest Holmes founded, I share this quote and not believe Ernest Holmes said this. They cannot believe it, and they will go back and they will double check, because they cannot believe that a new thought influenced this. But what he said was, not every moment of our lives will be filled with complete happiness with everything that the heart can. Life is often filled with undesirable situations and conditions. Okay, it's about our opportunity to. The conditions are not about being positive or negative. It's about how we handle them. It's about how we decide we're going to respond in this current condition, which leads me to the second thing that we can do. The first is to see our life as a divine directive. This condition is a sacred assignment. The second thing is we just get a better thought, just a better thought. If we are worried, anxious, afraid, frustrated, angry right now, it can sound really hard when somebody says, well, you just need to think positively. You just need to choose to be happy. I mean, I believe that it's important for our immune system, positive for sure. Feeling happiness, laughing, this is very good for our immune system. But if we are feeling despair, hopeless, it's not very easy to jump to just being happy. All right. It can feel so hard that if we can't do it, we might give up and say, well, forget it. I'm just a spiritual failure. I just can't jump right into being happy. Okay. How are you supposed to just choose a really happy if you just lost a loved one? Or if your health is acting up, there's something going on in your life. If you're feeling overwhelming stress. I learned something from Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks teachings. And they don't say you're a spiritual failure if you cannot go from deep despair. What they say is just choose a better thought. Just choose a better thought. We don't have to go from here to, we go from here to here. That's all we have to do. So this is how this looked for me since this has been going on. I felt hopeless. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? How are we going to get through this, right? Are they going to develop a cure? What are we going to do? I'm worried about my friends who have this. I'm worried about my loved ones who have compromised immune system. Oh my God, there's hopelessness. I went to frustration. Boink. Okay, just a little bit. Whoa, man, I feel like my hands are trying to do anything. Man, there should be something I could do. Oh my God, I'm a minister, right? Why can't I just think of something like this, right? I was frustrated. Then I moved from frustration to hopefulness. Okay, wait. Whew, all right. Maybe this can work. If I sit with this, I just need to sit with this because I know, and I've practiced it a million times. When I'm freaking out, I can't understand the divine direction I'm getting. Calm, and I sit with it. Because frankly, right now, if we're choosing to sit with something right this minute, we're okay. Right this minute, we're okay. So what if I sit with this? I remind myself I'm the activity of spirit in this world. All things are. There's solutions present. In fact, solutions are running rampant right now through the realm of the unseen. If I'm calm, I can allow one of those to move through me. Okay, now I move to optimism. I had an idea. Okay, my income. I don't know what my income is going to look like in the long run, but I know for the month of April, I'm okay. So I'm going to buy a gift certificate from my hairdresser, my personal trainer, therapist. I'm going to keep my gym membership. That's what I can do right now. Okay, so choosing a better thought. It becomes also a series of responding and acting, having divine direction come back to us, because the universe responds to us. So just choose a little better thought. You don't have to choose a massively better thought. Choose a little better, and the universe will respond. Okay? The universe always responds. So the first thing we do is see our life as a divine directive. The current condition is our sacred assignment. The second thing we do is we just choose a better thought, just a little bit better thought. The third thing that we do, we find the joy, we find the lesson, we find the good. Okay? This is like doing the work. Remember I said Ernest Holmes said this, not every moment of our lives will be filled with complete happiness, with everything the heart can desire. Life is often filled with undesirable situations. He goes on to say, however, we should learn to take from each moment only the joy, the lesson, the good that's in it. Take the joy, the lesson, the good, not from the tragedy itself, but what we are feeling in this moment. On our, we have a gratitude group right now. It's 40 Days of Gratitude 2.0. Okay, it's a group. Friday, I posted this challenge to everybody on this group. And I wrote, even though the spread of COVID-19 affects me, the good thing that's come about in my life because of this is and responded with what they are grateful for right here and right now. People whose income has been impacted, they respond with beautiful experience. People who have compromised immune systems right now, they responded with all of the things that they are grateful for. We find the lesson, we find the good, we find some little thing that shines the way forward. Okay, and being able to choose a better thought helps us to do this. Or we can do this and find gratitude, and then that'll help us choose a better thought. Okay, when we can do this and choose a better thought, and we're seeing our life as a divine direction, these conditions as a sacred assignment, we're creators. Okay, we are participating in the unfoldment and of the expansion of lives. Which then leads me to the fourth thing that we do. The fourth thing is we just remember to commit to this practice. Remember that we are the center of activity of God in this world, because God is all things. There's nothing that God is not. God is everything that's ever been, everything yet to be, everything that we can see. It's every divine idea we've ever had and acted on. It's every divine idea that we didn't act on, right? It is the creations of humans in this world started off as a thought and were turned into a thing. Okay, so God is all things. We are the center of activity in our own lives. That life happens through us, for us, as us. Okay, I have the gallery view. I can see you all right now. I want to see your little lips say, life happens through me. Life happens through me. Life happens through me. Now, if we are in victim consciousness, that's when we think life happens through me. Okay, like me a couple of weeks ago, this was me. Oh my God, why'd this have to happen? I want things to go back to normal. We can't be happy until this stuff changes out here. Why? Why me? Why my friends? Why my loved ones? But why questions, they never offer solutions. They never do. They offer more proof of the problem, is what they do. We ask why me, we get more proof of the problem. Proof of our failures, proof of why we're in victim consciousness, right? Why are we a victim, right? Why me? Any person who has ever moved out of consciousness into creator consciousness, they did that not because they examined all the problems in their life. Okay, we move from victim consciousness into creator consciousness by choosing a better thought, seeing our life as a divine directive, and these challenging conditions as our sacred assignment. We find the joy, we find the lesson, we find the good. When we are the center of creation in our life, when we step into that truth, because we're always the center of creation, whether we're creating the good or the struggle, we're always creating it. We are working with these principles here today, okay, that seeing life as a divine directive, this condition as a sacred assignment, as the center of creation, we can accept the package of our life. This is what is happening right here, and right is what I've got to work with. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with what I have today? Okay, we find the joy, we find the lesson, we find the good. This helps us to engage with our I am consciousness, okay, our sourcefulness, okay, the great me, the great me. We engage with that's always pouring forth divine inspiration, that within that knows what to do, how to do it, and it compels us to act on what it knows. Yes, the divine instruction, so we can accept what's happening right here and do something with it, unfold the good, and we can interpret all the instructions. That's a big thing right there. We need to be able to interpret all of those instructions so we know what to do right here. We know what we do right now is important. What we do right now is important. We don't powerful change for the good of humanity from victimhood. Okay? Life happens through me. It shifts our consciousness. shifts our consciousness. There is no master ever, no spiritual teacher ever, really, really walking the walk ever, who said, this will just make your life peachy and easy all the time. Okay, what they said, they never promised a perfect, easy life. The teaching was more about, even though there might be this happening, even though sometimes life will feel hard, there's always that within us that will know what to do, how to do it, and it will compel us to act on what it knows. There's a divine spark within us. And when we tune into its instruction, it makes life softer. Place to land. Sometimes there are situations in our life that are painful. Sometimes there are conditions that are heartbreaking. Sometimes it will feel like life is hard. But when we remember that our life is a divine directive, okay, and right now this condition is our sacred assignment, we know, especially when we find the joy, find the lesson, find the good, we can still have a life filled with joyfulness and happiness. Okay, we can still for our life. No condition can stop us from unfolding the good. We are divinely designed to handle all of this happening right now. Think about it. You have, all of us, 100% have handled everything that's come our way. And here we are. So we see life as a divine directive. This condition is our sacred assignment. Choose a better thought. Find the joy, find the lesson, find the good. And remember, you are the center of creation in your own life. Life is happening through you, for you, as you. Life happens as me. Life happens through us, for us, as us. And that is how we are creating, right now, heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are the activity of a spirit in a body, calling forth all those numerous solutions that are all just right there in the realm of the end, waiting to land in an open consciousness. Okay, you are the heart and hands of spirit in this world. You are soul designed to do all of this stuff, and everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.